And welcome back to Troll Time. I'm your host, Ivan D. Curtis, aka the Troll King. And this is a show where we talk sports, movies, or anything thought provoking. Today we'll just be probably talking WNBA news, recapping last night's games, and also previewing tonight's matchup in the W. Normally I do this show with my fellow friends and family, Antonio Williams and Boredy McBoard, but today is just two of us. Just the two of us, Boredy. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's always a great day in the W, especially it's a great day to talk about the show because yesterday, it was jumping for the end of Commissioner's Cup, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Just few news. Today, especially, I was excited because Bree Hall has been signed with the Golden State Valkyries, which
Ohio,
is
baby.
Bree Hall is a Dayton, Ohio native that I had the pleasure of watching play as a youngster and also at South Carolina, and being drafted by Indiana, then being released by Indiana, and then now being picked up by the Valkyries. But comes from a great family. Brian and Shauna, I mean, good people that I've known for a minute, and I'm happy about that. But the Valkyries made some news. Also, they brought back Caitlin Chen and Letitia Amir. So I don't know what the strategy was with that, but I think it's going to pan out. The Valkyries have been doing well, and we will talk about them later in this show. But they've been very competitive, and I know it was a lot of question marks early with them about some players being let go and things of that nature. But that was pretty much the news that I liked today that I heard in the W. We'll talk about the rest in between the matchups, and then open it up with the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever defeated the Connecticut Sun 88-71. Caitlin Clark dropped 20 points, 6 assists, 4 or 6 from the three-point line. Kelsey Mitchell, 17 points. Natasha Howard, I gave the game ball, with 16 points, 12 rebounds. And then you had Damaris Dantas with 13 points off the bench, was 2 for 5 from 3. And then on the other side of the track, you had Tina Charles, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Olivia Nelson-Adota, 14 points, 8 rebounds. And then Jaylen Brown, she had 13 points off the bench. But the biggest thing about this game was where I joked about it before we came before we got on the air, was the Malice and Game Bridge.
Baby, the girls were fighting. OG.
No doubt, Bordy. I mean, we had a few incidents. You had, of course, the eye poke from J.C. Sheldon that ultimately led to Marina Mabry coming over and giving Caitlin Clark a nice little knock to the ground. And then at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, which is, I was surprised, honestly, why Sophie Cunningham was still in the game. But nevertheless, she picked up, a flagrant foul at the end on J.C. Sheldon. But, my thing is this. I'm just really... people getting overly emotional like these aren't professional athletes. Like women, like we people. Men get mad, women get mad. Women are competitive, men are competitive. Like everybody's trying to win. So like some of the stuff in between the lines, you don't know everything that's done, everything that's said. Some of the people that you think are angels are not angels on the court.
At all.
So.
Not at all.
With that being said, a lot of things are going to happen. But I will say this. The officials in the WNBA have to get it together. They have to get it together. Because, honestly, if they took control of the game, some of the stuff that transpired throughout the game wouldn't happen. And that's just part of it. I'm not somebody who likes to pick sides. Right is right, wrong is wrong. But certain fouls or certain display of behaviors should warrant ejections or something of that sort. I mean, because you got to know as time goes on, things are just going to flare even more. And that's ultimately what happened. Bordy, give me your take on what you saw last night.
The girls were fighting, and when you said that, like, not everybody is an angel, guess what? When people aren't angels, and when people talk smack, unfortunately, bad things can sometimes occur. If you said, like we talked about, the refs don't take it underneath control. One thing that we should know, and this is something that the refs should have a history of, and I just to set the scene, JC Sheldon and not Angel Reese. I apologize. That's the people everybody wants to blame, right? Everybody wants to blame Angel Reese when it comes to Caitlyn in these situations. JC Selden and Caitlyn Clark have a long history together, okay? And they do not like each other. And so it's no surprise that those two get to talking, and unfortunately things start to escalate, right? Now, you know one thing about Marina Mayberry, she ain't afraid to scrap either. And also Sophie Cunningham, I think it is fair to say that she was brought in to be this type of person that if somebody messed with Caitlyn, then boom, then she would be that person that would start something with the other team, right? That's fair to say. You can argue about whether or not that's okay or whether or not it'd be applicable to other people if she didn't have the skin color that she did. But either way, that is part of the reason why she got brought in. And I am just thanking all gods talking about skin color that this all involved just white players. This was JC Sheldon, this is Marina Mayberry, this is Sophie Cunningham, because we can't say that this, if it were a black woman that were doing this to Caitlin Clark, unfortunately, it would have been way bigger than it was. And I'm not surprised that this is big in the W space, but this is not much bigger than the W space today, because Lord knows that everyone wants to make Caitlyn seem like she's a perpetual victim, especially towards black women. But I will say this, when it comes to the perpetual victim angle, speaking of not being an angel, if you've watched Caitlin Clark seriously throughout her years, that girl is a major shit talker. Like, all she does is talk junk, okay? And that's not a bad thing. People love that. Part of me, I wish that she owned that a little bit more, because she does on the court, but outside in her outside persona, because then step into that legacy of DT that DT walked in, because it's very endearing after a while. She's not quite there yet, but I feel like her fans should know that she does this. And so people get heated, and then this is why these situations keep on happening around her. There's a reason why she keeps on getting into these scuffles all the time. It's not that everybody's bullying poor old little Caitlin Clark. No, she talks junk, okay? And when people talk junk, guess what? Talk ish, get hit. And it's not okay, I guess, to say that people get hit. But I will say it's just so jarring, I suppose, for NBA fans, because they're used to seeing the NBA be very sanitized, all friendly, all willy-nilly. The W game is so much more physical. So I think people are extra surprised because of that, and because women unfortunately are involved too. They're surprised to see, and it involves Caitlin Clark, they're surprised to see that physicality and fights sometimes happen, and they do happen quite frequently in this sport. So if you're a long-term W fan, you just laugh at this and this is fine. If you're a new fan, you kind of pearl clutch and are like, oh, we don't do this in the NBA. Yeah, because David Stern got rid of that. The fun is still here, baby. The hands are still being thrown. The crap is still being talked, and it makes for a fun and entertaining game as long as it doesn't go too far. I will say I am surprised that Sophie Cunningham didn't get suspended, and I think that's an extension of the refs and the league taking care of hate and bad things that are happening around the team. And I think it is also interesting too. The league should probably investigate the fact that Caitlyn was caught on camera saying, "I can do whatever I want." You don't want a player to feel like she can do that, okay? But overall, for me, I'm a long-term W fan, so I was just laughing and kiki the whole time through.
Yeah, and I think they came back today, and of course they made some, upgrades and everything like that. But like I said, at the end of the day, the officials have to get it together, because it's some the calls are not. If you it's to the point in a women's game where you have to call stuff, like, because they're compete they're like I said, it's not the NBA where they're giving up free layups, free jump. Like nothing is free. Everything is earned. So at that point, you have to control the game by being consistent in what you call. And it's just that simple. I mean, it's we're not even halfway into the season, and this is where we at, and it's not going to change one bit. So hats off for Indiana. Taking the game. They improved to 6-5. Connecticut falls to 2-9. Connecticut plays again tonight, and it doesn't get any easier with Phoenix, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But
I just want to say real quick, lost to this whole thing. The Fever made the Commissioner's Cup, which nobody talked about. They just talked about
You're right, and I definitely was going to bring that up at the end. Of course, they don't play the game for a while now, but. And they'll be meeting up against the Minnesota Lynx. But you're right. That nobody's really talking about that. Like everybody, But that's the thing. Like even Caitlin said after, in the press conference, people pay money to come to the games to see entertainment, of all forms. Not saying that they coming to see UFC or MMA or anything like that, but things are going to happen. I mean. I really like what you said, though. I mean, to me, I'd rather like players own up to things. Like, don't throw a rock and hide your hand. Like, it is what it is. I mean, most of the best players in any sport, like they talk shit. Like they carry a persona that most don't. That's why they are who they are. I mean, and that's nobody's exempt from that. All the greats have been known to be something. I was gonna say dickheads, but that's pretty much it. Like, so if it is, own it. I mean, you don't have. I always say we as fans don't have to be shields for these players. Like, first of all, they're grown. Like, they're not kids. Like, they're grown. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, and whether it appears to be good or appears to be bad, they know exactly what they're doing. So, fortunately for us, I mean, we got some good basketball for the majority. But then, of course, I mean, if you're not a fan of physicality or anything of that sort, then I'm telling you right now, you're watching the wrong sport. Because it's been going on for years. Like, the bad officiating has been bad officiating for years. It being physical and tough definitely has been around. So it's going to be there. And I want to give a big shout out to Thomas. I don't want to mess your name up, Thomas. So I'm just going to say Thomas. But I appreciate you for stopping by because I definitely, you definitely mentioned it last night. And glad to see you in here. So I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah. He's been with it. Like, so I think a lot of times we don't catch people at the right time. So a lot of times they miss the live show. So I've been directing them to the YouTube, but appreciate you stopping by for the live show. Now moving along, cause we're trying to get out of here before 7:00 because got to catch the Mercury in the sun. But, New York Liberty and Atlanta Dream. Now this game started out the way I thought it would start out. And it ended the way I thought it was going to end. I mean, I thought Atlanta was going to push them and possibly take the game, but New York, man, just too deep, too strong. They take the game 86-81. Sabrina Ionescu, man. You might, the MVP talks are like, it's heating up every week. She finished with 34 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Shot 12 for 20 from the field, 4 for 8 from the 3, and 6 for 8 from the free throw line. 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Like, she's a player, like, realistically, and I'm not even going to hop on this wagon for long, but this should have been the rivalry with her and Caitlin Clark. Players that play. Players that play the same position almost because she had in college she ran more point than she does now. She's played off the ball in the pros, but they have a better skill set, a more similar skill set. Sabrina's been shooting lights out from 3. Definitely been working on her game, getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line. That's where the comparison should be. Like that's where the rivalry, because she took the same flack coming into the league as Caitlyn. Caitlyn, she's got it easy. She's been protected. Sabrina was not protected. Like
Yeah, the last couple point guards, like everybody made a big deal about Caitlyn. Caitlyn was protected compared to a lot of the last point guards. Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu. Oh, geez, I was just talking about another one that got beat up all the time. Point guards have been beat up historically
well,
a lot when they're higher drafted.
when I mention protected, I'm not per se saying on the court. I'm saying far as the fanfare. She didn't like Sabrina. Like she got the grunt of it. She got the similar treatment like Caitlyn on the court. But like what I'm saying, she didn't have the backing behind her that Caitlyn does. So like, but I like that comparison better. Two players that play the same position and they both have an outstanding skill set. But Breanna Stewart, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. Jonquel Jones, a double-double with 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 for 4 from the field. Now, they were only the 3 players to get into double figures. And that just shows you how New York operates, man. They don't really care about who scores the ball. They just want to win. And I think I seen Natasha Cloud mention in her interview that she said that's the one thing that she likes about New York is that it's all about basketball. Like it's no extra, no drama, no nothing. It's just all about basketball. Now on the other end, you had the Atlanta Dream. Man, if you break down the box score of this game, you don't expect them to lose. Like they almost had 6 players in double figures. With Tahina Paopao leading with 16 points, 2 steals, shot 4 for 5 from 3. But the crazy part about that, she did that all in 15 minutes. And you thought she would have played more in this game, but she didn't. And Ryan Howard was flirting with a triple-double with 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. Alicia Gray, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, which was an off night for her. And then you had Breanna Jones with 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Like I said, Atlanta made a push in the beginning. New York turned it on in the fourth quarter, outscoring them 26-13, and took home the victory. New York improved to 10-1, and Atlanta fell to 8-4. And Thomas asked himself, why didn't Tina Charles get a tech last night? I don't understand. I'm gonna be honest with you, Thomas. The whole thing about Tina Charles, I think they missed it. I honestly, with all the commotion going on and everything, they missed it. Like
sometimes you can get a tech if you're just in the right area, and that's exactly what happened. Like you could just, if you're in the wrong area, sometimes it just things pop off or it doesn't.
Yeah, that's exactly how I seen it. You had anything you want to chime in with the Atlanta Dream and New York Liberty?
Yeah, no. I think it's because we have the conversation about like the top teams in the league all the time, and I feel like it's very clear that the New York Liberty are number 1, Minnesota number 2, but the third spot is a question. So you really wanted to see how the Dream would play today, and shout out to Ryan Howard. She's making great plays. Like she's playing like almost all for defense. So shout out to her. Like she's hooping right now. She's expanded her skill set a lot. Tahina Powell, thank goodness Jordan Canada's back because it allows her to just score in buckets, which is what exactly that you want her to do. Not handle as much point guard responsibility since she didn't do that as much in South Carolina. So thank goodness that Jordan Canada is there to move the ball more. And Atlanta in general looks a lot better with the influence of Jordan Canada there. But the New York Liberty are just a slightly deeper team. And also missed in, the they have a whole bunch of all-stars right along with Atlanta, but they are coming off of winning a championship. And although you have some new pieces like T Cloud who are there who have not won a championship, when you have a team that knows, I was just listening the other day to who was it Swin Cash, or was it, no, it was Lisa Leslie that said like the first year is the hardest year to go ahead and get your championship, but your second year you're already battle tested, you know how to overcome adversity, and you know how to get through hard situations. They were down 17 points last night, and they were still able to find a way to make sure that they can get it done playing great defense. And Sabrina, right? Like I know I was talking about on the court, right? But also in the media sense as well. Like Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu were trashed a lot in the media for not stepping up to the level that they were anointed to in college. Well, guess what? Sobs is making all the haters like just quiet with her clutch shots, timely shots, and I love the fact that T Cloud allows her to play off ball, which allows her to, I feel like, play in her more natural, I guess, position more because, like, in the league, in college, she was more of a passer, but I feel like in the league, you really benefit from her outside shooting and her ability to sometimes make plays offensively, passing the ball. But, like, now the Liberty are even more of a well oiled unit than they were last year. And then getting John Quell Jones back, who is one of the more undersung heroes for their team and should forever be like, this is somebody who won finals MVP. And I feel like she's not getting enough for her praise because the Liberty have struggled at times when she isn't on the court, but when she's on the court, things just move so much better. It get more rebounds, and the defense down low, it's almost impenetrable down there with her and Stewie. The Liberty are just a better team, and I think that is true for the entire league. But I think Atlanta is coming on its own. Unfortunately, they don't have the same pedigree that the Liberty do. But this is an Atlanta team where in a year or two, who knows what might happen to them. They have something growing there, and at least this was a good test. They couldn't get it over the hump, but that's okay when you're going against a team that is a championship team. Oh, gee, I can't hear you no more.
And I was saying that we have a severe thunderstorm going on right now.
Okay.
So I was listening out for that. But yeah, just no doubt. I mean, the Liberty are going to be tough. I, like I said, still a two-team race, even though they will not, participate in the Commissioner Cup championship. But I still think it's a two-team race this early in the season. Last night, the Washington Mystics defeated the Chicago Sky 79-72. Brittany Sykes, aka Slim, went off for 32 points, 5 assists, 3 steals. Was 13 for 24 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3. Sonia Citron, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. And Shakira Austin almost had a double-double with 9 points, 9 rebounds. Also had two assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Had a full night going for her, and I love this starting five now with her being in the starting five. And then Kiki Afin, she had 8 points, 6 rebounds. Chicago came out and dominated this game in the beginning. And then Washington just hit a switch and took over in the second half, man. Thought the Chicago Sky was going to take care of business. Angel Reese had another great game. Too many turnovers, but I think that's going to happen with her transitioning into how she's been playing. But 17 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Camila Cardoso, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Outside of that, Ariel Atkins had 10 points, 7 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. But this was a game, like I said, that Chicago had in hand early, and the Mystics fought back and took the game. The Mystics are now 5-7. Chicago is now 3-8. Your thoughts, Bordy, on anything?
Yeah, I don't know how you can't walk away from the season and not think that Angel Reese is one of the best players on that team. And along with Camila Cardoso, she was also hooping as well. Their guards are the issue. Their guards are the issue. Their guards are the issue. You expect veterans. Of course, you expect the two developmental bigs to have their struggles because they're developmental bigs. But you want the veterans who are there to step up more. And I feel like consistently they have not met the mark. And even outside of Angel Reese's like 7 turnovers, the whole team had 40 turnovers. It's unacceptable, and they were just right there to win a game. I think the biggest thing though, even if you're a Sky fan, like you probably expected a loss. But you just want the team to an offense to flow better, and if not that, you want your players that you're developing in Camilla, HVL, and also Angel to look better. And I'm really glad to see that Angel has got kicked out of her snap there where she wasn't playing good ball. And also it seems like Camilla also, who had some issues apparently mentally, seems like she's playing a little bit better, a little bit more free. But that consistency, that's something that you want, and that's something that you're not going to get a lot for a young team. But at least Tyler, if it seems like they've introduced their two best players into the offense more. So if you can only just get that your vets involved more and your vets can actually hit shots, then good things are looking up for the Chicago Sky. It's not all bad. The sky isn't falling, which is good because goodness gracious, they need some type of hope. But as long as you can find a way for your developmental players to get some type of good reps in, things can look better. So at least HVL had that 16-point game, and Camilla, Angel Reese triple double, Camilla back to back double digit games. This is a good thing to build on if you're Tyler Marsh in the Sky.
No doubt. Now, Thomas asked in the chat, he said, what teams that are in contention needs to make a trade, and who should they get? I think most of the teams that are in contention right now, I think the rosters is pretty set. I mean, when you look at New York, I think it's all about health at that point. I mean, I think the Lynx, their roster is pretty set. I think the Liberty is set. I think a lot of other teams may be tied. I only look at the Lynx, the Liberty, the Storm, Phoenix, Las Vegas. Those are probably my top 5 teams that I would say that are in contention now.
You're in Atlanta?
No. I wasn't about to lead them out, but I'm saying that offhand, that's what I think. Atlanta, I want to have faith in them, but the only thing is because they have a new roster. Like the chemistry is it still needs to get there to a point of consistency, but. And then of course the Fever. I think a big statement for the Fever is winning the Commissioner's Cup. Like, I think that's going to be a stepping stone in the right direction. The only thing that scares me about the Fever, and now everybody knows that I'm a Fever fan. The only thing that scares me down the stretch is depth. Like that's it. Because you look at the Liberty, they play some big games without John Quell, and they still perform. Like you look at something, the Lynx played without McBuckets and still competed and won some games. Yeah. So, but when you look at certain teams like the Liberty, if Kelsey Mitchell not there, it's tough. If Caitlin Clark is not there, it's tough. Now I'm saying any team that lose their star is tough, but I'm saying even if you take away Lexi Hall, it gets tougher. Because nobody, so I'm saying like the depth thing is what scares me. Like Atlanta is just about being consistent. I think they have a good roster top to bottom, but I think it's just about being more consistent. And then what Brittany Griner are you going to get? Like that's the only thing about them. But Seattle is another team that I think is they're right there, but it's just about being consistent. Now Erica Wheeler showing up. That definitely helps, something that I didn't see coming to this magnitude. Like she is becoming a prolific player for Seattle. So like I like that. Her along with Skylar Diggins has been beautiful. So, and then Phoenix on the other hand, they just have a fairly new roster, and then health. Like AT has missed some games. Copper is just now coming back. Those are the things that I look at. But as far as the talent. I think a lot those teams, those 5 to 7 teams that I just mentioned. I think anybody's capable of winning on any day. I think right now, of course, it's early. It's easy to say the Liberty and Lynx because of the record and what they've been doing. But you definitely want to catch Minnesota away from Minnesota.
For real. Targets are lit, man.
And because they get a strong whistle in Minnesota. But outside of that, I think all of those teams are going to be tough. Now, Thomas, depending on who has room to make moves and who doesn't, that'll be the question. But I think all of those teams are solid.
Yeah, I think like you can nitpick like would I like to have a backup point for the Fever, and I feel like they're gonna get Ari McDonald a little bit later on in the year when that 12th spot opens up. Seattle could use another shooter. They're probably gonna pick up Serena Sundell a little bit later in the year, like I said, when the 12th spot opens up. I think the only thing probably Phoenix. I would like Phoenix to either have a true point guard, but there's not really a lot of those in the W, as we talked about a lot. Like I guess you can pick up Jaden Kelly, but you want somebody more veteran when you're with that team in the Mercury. And then if you're the Mercury too, maybe maybe a big, but I can't name any big. I would have said Mackenzie Holmes a while ago. I can't think of any like glaring big that I'm thinking like is not getting a lot of love right now, like Kiki Herbert Arrington maybe or something like that. But yeah, I think for the most part, most of these rosters are pretty set, which is not something I would have said last year because I would have said both the two top teams in the Libs and the Lynx would have needed a point guard. But I think that Natisha Heineman and T Cloud fit that role a little bit well.
And the one thing I wanted to say about Phoenix, the beauty of it, like with them not having a 2-point guard, when you have Alyssa Thomas, yeah, I mean, you kind of get bailed out a little bit because she's a point forward. She's a true point forward. So I mean, she's somebody that initiates the offense, and now she's been doing a great job putting it in the bucket. But the one thing about Phoenix is they have phenomenal rookies, and their rookies are not They're not traditional. They're older and skilled and ready to play right now. And we'll get to that when we talk about the preview of tonight's games. But that's been the saving grace for Phoenix. They like the rookie play in it because it's been in the backcourt. Aside from Catherine Westbell, who's a 29-year-old rookie that starts. So like that lets you know like what type of team that they put together in the offseason. But moving along really quick, Dallas Wings defeated Golden State 80-71. Paige Beckers looked good last night, 20 points, 9 of 18 shooting. Didn't hit a 3-point field goal, but like I said, 9 for 18 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Enrique, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't shoot it particularly well, but had 3 steals, 1 block. Nalissa Smith, 6 points, 10 rebounds. And, Kayla Charles, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, was let go, came back, and was ready to play. And I think I seen on Twitter, she said this, hey, God is good. Like, so I was happy about that for her. But on the other side, you had Monique Billings, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Kayla Thornton, 17 points, 5 rebounds. Letitia Amahir, 14 points, 6 rebounds off the bench. Tiffany Hayes, 10 points off the bench. Regardless of the Valkyries losing this game, they fall to 5-6. Dallas picks up their second win, but Golden State always gives us a game, and that's what I appreciate about them. It doesn't matter who they're playing; the effort is always there. Quick thoughts, Bordy, or we can moving along.
Yeah, good on Dallas to get their first win because, man, vibes have been not great with them and the whole coaching situation. So I'm very glad that they were able to get that. And the Valkyries, I'm interested to see, like, they started off hot, but now a lot of their players are going to go internationally for Eurobasket. So we'll see if they're able to go ahead and keep a decent record. We didn't expect them to get the record that they have right now, so anything is good right now for Natalie Nikasi. But I am interested to see just how much they're able to hold themselves afloat when they have so many rotating pieces on the roster.
No doubt. Seattle Storm blow out the Los Angeles Sparks 98-67. Seattle improves to 7-5. LA Sparks fall to 4-9. And Nneka Ogwumike, 26 points, 5 rebounds. When she's aggressive, they're a better team because she's still playing at a high level. You would not think she's been in the league as long as she's been in the league. On any given night, she chooses to be aggressive. She was 12 for 16. Like I said, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. And then in the backcourt, which we talked about earlier, 30 points combined for Skylar Diggins and Erica Wheeler. Both had 15 points apiece. Skylar Diggins, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 block. Erica Wheeler, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. And then off the bench, Alicia Clark, which I thought was perfect. This was a great move. To assert Wheeler into the starting lineup, and then now you bring Alicia Clark off the bench, who I feel like is a perfect bench player for them. She was 4 for 5 from 3. She's a 3-and-D type player anyway. So it was very beneficial for them to make that change. On the other end, you had Sarah Ashley Barker, who I like, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 for 5 from the 3. And then Rakia Jackson, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Had an off night, was 4 for 15. Azura Stevens, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals. Like I said, it was a dominant game by Seattle. LA, I think, is still they still a season or so away from being where they want to be. Now, Kelsey Plum did not play. But I still think this team is like it's going to take them a minute to find their way, because you got a lot of young budding players that still, have yet. This is Rakia Jackson's really first official season of really being in the lineup, really playing. I said Kurt Miller played her like a scrub last year, and they hardly played. You had to wonder what all was going on, but. And then you have Cameron Brink, who has, of course, she's out. And that's going to be interesting to see where she falls, because their front court is legit. I mean, with Stevens and Hamby and Jackson and Brink. It's
I think it was hooping the last time they played like crazy. So
yeah, so they got some things to figure out. Last game, that was the last game of the night.
Can I get a quick
go ahead.
on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Want to say quick thought. I think LA is interesting because they have so many players that's hurt, and although it's unfortunate, there's been a lot of injuries so far earlier on in the season for this season. But I will say, considering as many Boredy's bookmarks, I think it is interesting going forward into this year with the CBA that there are so many injuries, and I wonder how players. I think this is actually a good timing. There's all these injuries because it proves to the ownership and to the players, to everybody, and this is something that the players can point to where like we don't have enough roster spots. Everybody is hurt, and right now there are like 20, 50 million hardship contracts that the LA has to do, that the Valks have to do, et cetera, et cetera. So this really does emphasize for the players, not for the players, for the league in general, you just need these extra roster spots because injuries happen and there's not great contingency play.
Agreed. Now, Thomas asked, he said, who y'all got for Rookie of the Year? We have so many good ones to pick from. I like Citron. I think she's about to light it up, which, Thomas, I do agree. Now, I'll tell you, it's only one knock that I have on Citron, and it's really not a knock, but I wish she would be more aggressive a lot. Like she was passive. She was passive at Notre Dame, which was easy to do because you're playing with Olivia Miles and Hannah Adago, who are aggressive, ball dominant players. But I think she has moments where she's so unselfish that the numbers won't allow her to be in contention to win Rookie of the Year. Do I think she's one of the top rookies? Yes. Do I think she's one of the most skilled rookies? Yes. But like the way she plays, I just think the numbers won't attribute to her being. Now I think she's going to be mentioned, of course, but it's going to be hard to compete with like a Paige Beckers who's going to have the ball in her hands the majority of the time. Or when Paige plays off the ball, she's still assertive. And I think that's the thing about Citron. Like she's the perfect teammate and the perfect player, but she's not always aggressive. And like I said, that's really not a knock. Like that's just, and I love her game. That's just this part of how she plays. And to me, when you have certain players like that, you can't change. It's hard to change that because that's who they are. So.
Luckily, Paige was able to get out of it. So, like, maybe, hopefully, as Citron grows, she does. But like you said, it's kind of hard to. That's one of those things. Like, it's hard to stop turnovers as a quarterback. It's hard to stop like passiveness as a thing. And I think that was hurting. I feel like it's like Kiki is also been in the conversation. Kiki Iriafen. But unfortunately, there are a lot of forwards on that Washington team. So, and she's gotten a lot of less minutes with AE playing Aaliyah Edwards. So I really feel like, especially with the responsibility and load that's on Paige's plate, it's going to be hers. It started off as a competition, but she has to do so much in order for this Dallas Wings team to look decent. Not even to win, to look decent.
Right.
I don't think they can. They're like, Paige, help me at this point. So she has to kind of win.
I was kind of disappointed, Dallas, because I'm almost. This is my. I mean, because everybody. First of all, it's going to be a big question mark to see how Juju comes back from her injury. Like, whenever that happens. But then if that's not the case, then you got AZ Fudd and a lot of other top players that's going to be, mentioned in the top WNBA draft picks next year. And Dallas, they kind of unintentionally in tank mode. so it's going to be interesting to see who goes there. And then Chicago is almost in tank mode too. So, but I'm actually being funny when I'm saying tank mode because I don't. They're not intentionally losing, but the record. Yeah, the record said we're gonna be in the lottery, baby. So it's like it is what it is. Before we get out of here, that was the last game of the night. But I say this game because this is who the Fever will be playing in the Commissioner's Cup. You had the Las Vegas Aces and the Minnesota Lynx, which I thought it was a point in time in this game where the Aces looked like they were going to get the win. And ironically, Aja Wilson did not play. And they were still, in the game. It was leading in the game, but man, the second half, it's something about the second, like when the Lynx get down, they get better. And they've been known to start out slow, and then they pick it up. And it was the third quarter where they took off, where they outscored Las Vegas 26-13, and that changed the complexion of the game. And it only got worse for Las Vegas because they was outscored 20-10 in the fourth quarter. And Minnesota went on to win 76-62. The Minnesota Lynx are now 11-1. Las Vegas Aces are now 5-6. And I do believe that's Aja Wilson's third game that she's been out since dealing with the concussion protocol. I've never had a concussion, but I heard about them, and it can be like that. So it's
a day or it can be months,
Yeah, but Courtney Williams, you always wonder if Nafisa Collier doesn't play well, who is going to step up for Minnesota. And Courtney Williams has been the lightning rod. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. And she didn't shoot particularly well neither. She was only 8 for 23, but 2 for 5 from the 3. Elena Smith, 10 points, 13 rebounds. And then Diamond Miller had a breakout game last night with 12 points, 4 for 5 from the field. 2 for 2 from the 3-point line and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Now, my homeboy, who's always on the page, Dante Dixon, he's a big Diamond Miller fan, and I try to tell him hey man, on that team you gotta wait your turn, man, because it's pretty deep. So you just gotta wait your turn. And they're another team that's filled with depth. And then you had Natisha Heidelman, who man, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Hey, the stud buzz, was killing last night. And if you're not familiar with the stud buzz, man, you need to get familiar because they pretty funny together. That's Natasha Heidelman and Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams has a Twitch, and then they do a lot of things live and stuff like that together. But it's pretty hilarious. For the Las Vegas Aces, Jewel Lloyd, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Jackie Young, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. And then Chelsea Gray, 9 points, 6 assists. It was just not a great night for the Las Vegas Aces. And like I said, Minnesota takes home 76-62. Bordy, quick thoughts before we get to tonight's matchups and get out of here?
It never comes together for the Aces. That's the biggest issue, right? Their defense never comes together at all. But it never comes together where you have like Jackie Young will start to hoop, right, and get 30, or like Chelsea Gray will get like 25, and then like Jewel Lloyd has been on a slump for a while, but then she started to heat up, and then she got like 20 something the other night. But it just never falls all in the same night to where they can actually get the win, and that's unfortunate for them, because when you don't have Aja Wilson, who's a consistent bucket, their only consistent bucket, then you're just left with, well, who's gonna win tonight? And then it's just the Jack Nichols. You're just like over here. Well, I don't really know what's gonna come from. So it's unfortunate for the Aces. I think having a big, and that we've been saying this for like years, would help Aja a lot. But it's at this point, a lot of the Aces love is hype, and unfortunately, I just don't see it this year. I just don't.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I think that's the thing when you have a championship roster, is that if you stay with it for so long and you don't get any youth to come in and kind of start plugging and playing, you're going to hit a slide like that. And I think that's exactly where the Aces are at.
And Jewel Lloyd for Kelsey Plum, they're almost the same player. So like, and Kelsey is actually playing a lot better too. So it wasn't a good move, or wasn't a move that was significantly going to change things, I thought.
No, not at all. Before we get out of here, Commissioner's Cup is July 1st. That obviously will be the Indiana Fever against the Minnesota Lynx. This was for $500,000, man. So if anybody wonder why it's been hot and heavy for the last couple of weeks, that might answer your question.
Ain't getting paid over here, baby.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be a good matchup. I'm with you, Thomas. Once again, thanks for stopping through in the chat. He said, I think it's going to be a great game. Hope everyone is healthy. We do too. So I love how y'all are unbiased and y'all watch all the teams. I love the Fever, but enjoy the WNBA overall. I like how these players are finally getting their recognition, which is true. Like I say, Thomas, you notice me every day. Hey man, I'm truly here to laugh and show love and promote and talk sports and movies. I don't really get into all the other stuff. That's for other people to do. I'm here. I think my purpose is different than that. So I enjoy it all. Like, I'm with you, Thomas. I'm a Fever fan. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. But I appreciate all the other talent and all the other teams in the league. If we win it, cool. If we don't, cool. But I'm still gonna rock with them, and I'm still gonna support the league as a whole. I would still be watching it with my mom if she was still living. So God rest her soul, because we started watching it together back in 1997. So we was gonna talk about Phoenix and Connecticut, but we went over, which is not a bad thing. Phoenix is
Phoenix won.
Go ahead.
Phoenix will win.
Well, Phoenix is ahead right now, 16-4. And, as we always say, we're here to laugh, show love, promote, talk sports, movies, joke, and troll. Catch us on the next episode.